Hello everyone, I am Sanjeevani Nanda. Welcome to my channel Learn and Grow. So in this video I will discuss about the most important books as well as the most valuable ones for which is useful for the BA, MA as well as all those lovers of history, those who wanted to learn from the historical sciences. So I have to show some of the important books in a chronological manner regarding the ancient, medieval, modern, as well as the books related to the world history and the civilizations. So in the first category, I will show regarding the ancient Indian history. As we know that popularly the study of history that divided into three important parts: ancient, medieval and modern. And again ancient Indian history, which is divided into three parts, that is history, prehistory and proto-history. And most importantly, we study the prehistory as well as the history. And proto-history refers to the period which is absence of written evidence or absence of written records. Only through the ancient remains and remnants, through the archaeological studies, we have the information regarding the proto-historical periods and Indus Valley civilization, which comes under its category. So in the studying of the ancient Indian history, the first most important book, and which is very popular and famous in today's world, that is A History of Ancient and Early Medieval India, which is written by Professor Upinder Singh from the Stone Age to the 12th century. So for the means of specializing in ancient India as well as covering all the relevant chapters related to ancient India, we can opt for this one. As well as this book is very useful for those students who are preparing for civil service or any competitive examinations, as well as for their own studies. And this book, which is written by Professor Upinder Singh, is a very good one, and all the students can purchase this book. And this book covers all the chapters related to the ancient Indian history. And you can see these the chapters, the contents. Chapter 1 regarding the understanding literary and archaeological sources. And the most important thing, that this book deals with the chapters with giving all the historiographical editions. Historiographical means if you study this book, you can learn that how to write history as well as what actually happened in the past. In order to study the past thoroughly, you can use this book very plentiful. And this book, in the first chapter, this includes the reading of ancient text from a historical point of view, as well as the hunter-gatherers of the Paleolithic and Mesolithic age. And Paleolithic and Mesolithic age comes under the category of proto-history because absence of written records. Only through archaeological excavations, archaeological studies, we have learned about the Paleolithic and Mesolithic ages. And this book includes all the chapters, and in a very comprehensively and in a detailed manner, unabridgedly discussed Professor Upinder Singh. And in my second category, another important book, that is written by Dujendra Narayan Jha. This is an enlarged edition of D.N. Jha regarding ancient Indian history. And this book is very lightweight as well as very little book, you can see this. And this book is very useful for all the aspirants who are preparing for the civil service examination, because you can get all the valuable information, the objective questions, as well as the fundamental ideas, as well as the rudimentary information regarding the ancient Indian incidents, ancient Indian subjects. This book, which is written by D.N. Jha, one of the prominent and most notable historian of modern period. And this book also cover the chapters such as from prehistory to the Harappan civilization. In the chapter 3, the Aryans and the Vedic age, then the material background of religious descent, Jainism and Buddhism. And mostly this book is useful for the students as well as the lovers, those who have passion to study the ancient India, because they have to build a clear idea what actually happened in the past in a very brief way. So this book is useful for them. And in my third category, the book which is written by Ram Saran Sarma, that is India's Ancient Past, which is written by Ram Saran Sarma. This book is very useful for the students. Oxford India paperbacks. This and as you know that Ram Saran Sarma's book, which is included in the NCERT's list, but now that edition is not run in our schools. Okay, so India's Ancient Past also deals with all chapters regarding ancient India, but I opt these books. This book is very good comparison to India's Ancient Past, because Ram Saran Sarma use very difficult words as well as the structures of the words and phrases, the kind of words are very difficult to understand for the particularly to those who is starting to study the ancient Indian history. It is for the professionals. It is for the historical students, not for those who studying history for appearing in examinations, various competitive examinations. So apart from these three books, you can also use to study such as Ancient India by R.C. Mazumdar, as well as D.C. Sarkar and Romila Thapar also. These books, Didi Kosambi book is also very useful, and for ancient India, these books are enough to study. And in the second, that is medieval India, and medieval India, one of the most important book regarding medieval India, that is a comprehensive history of medieval India from the 12th to the mid 18th century, which is written by Shalma Ahmad Farooqi, Pearson publisher. This book, which includes the period ranged from 12th century to mid 18th century up to the disintegration of the Mughal Empire as well as the advent of the Europeans to India. So this book is beautifully crafted and edited by Shalma Ahmad Farooqi, who is a very prominent and one of the great historian of medieval India. Shalma Ahmad Farooqi's book deals with the chapters such as in part 1 you have to study the transition from ancient to medieval India, the early medieval India, that is called the transitional phase between the ancient and medieval India. Then in part 2 she discuss northern India under the Delhi Sultanate, then kingdom of Vijayanagara, then the Bahmani kingdom and the Deccani Sultanates, then religious thought in medieval India. So this book is very useful for the students of history as well as the researchers and the teachers. The teachers could use this book, very useful. And in my second list, the book that is which is written by Satish Chandra. Satish Chandra's book, and which is very popular among the students as well as the teachers. History of Medieval India And now this book comes in two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 that is related with the Delhi Sultanate, and part 2 that's related with the Mughal India. So Satish Chandra, who was one of the most eminent as well as great historian of medieval India, and this book is very useful for the civil service aspirant. And we have already tested that how this book proved the kind of writing excellence as well as the information given in this book, and which thoroughly analyzed all the important incidents, thoughts, various events of medieval India, which includes Delhi Sultanate, Mughal India, their traditions, then the Deccan and South, the age of Vijayanagara, Bahamanis. Okay, so this book is also very useful for studying the medieval India. And apart from these two books, other important books regarding medieval India, which includes Jail Mehta's three editions as well as part 4 of Jail Mehta's book. And you can also use to study B.D. Mahajan's book. And apart from that, I have found another book which is very crucial for the history student, that is which is written by Irfan Habib, one of the notable and most remarkable historian of medieval India. And without the study of Irfan Habib's book, we can say that we study the medieval India, because the another name of the medieval India, I can say that is Irfan Habib. Irfan Habib, very eminent as well as experienced historian of medieval India, and actually he has written two books regarding the study of medieval India, medieval society, and not only regarding the medieval history, he has written so many books related with the medieval science and technology, the economy, the society, the culture, as well as specific studies of the life of the Mughal emperors. Okay, so Irfan Habib thoroughly analyzed all the aspects of the medieval Indian history, and he is an emeritus professor of Aligarh Muslim University, Irfan Habib, and this book, which in the past part 1, which include early medieval India 600 to 1200. And in this book, you can find that Indian form of feudalism, technology, science, religion, literature, art, which also include political history, economic, social history, technological history of medieval India. Then Mughal India 1500 to 1750. So this book is one of the precious material regarding the medieval Indian studies. So these books are really very valuable in historical point of view, as well as both students and teachers can find this book very useful, as well as these are trustworthy books. The information given in this book are correct, accurate, authentic history, original history of the medieval India. And in my third list, which comes the modern Indian history, and you have already know some of the books regarding modern Indian history, but I will show you some of the authoritative, branded, prescribed materials, which is very, I can say, not for the ordinary ordinary readers of modern Indian history. In my first category, that is India after Gandhi, which is written by Ramchandra Guha, the Gandhian historian, one of the great author of modern Indian history. and international one of the internationally recognized historian, Ramachandra Guha. Okay, 10th anniversary edition, updated and expanded. The history of the world's largest democracy, India after Gandhi. So you can surmise the bigness of this book, the great book which is written by him. And this is the fruit, this is the result of painstaking and breathtaking research of Ramachandra Guha. So this book is very useful, very useful to know the modern Indian history. A very magisterial book. Indian after Gandhi, which include all the aspects regarding the modern Indian democracy, the history of the democratic form of government in India. This book, this one. These are the contents of the book. These are the contents. You can purchase this book. This book is very useful. And in my second list, there comes a new look at modern Indian history, which is written by B.L. Grover and Alka Mehta, 32nd edition, H. Chand publisher. This book is very useful for the civil servant aspirants as well as PCS candidates. Yes, this book is very useful for them. And I can say with confidence, if you used to study this book, you have a great idea regarding the modern Indian history. And no one can who defeat you if you learn this book heartily, in a thoroughly manner, in an efficient way. So this book will benefit you a lot. So the contents of this book is very vast, because this book contains all the aspects regarding the modern Indian history. Every aspect, all the facets and aspects of the modern Indian history, thoroughly crafted and analyzed and emasculated by B.L. Grover. So the first chapter, that is Decline and Disintegration of the Mughal Empire. These are the chapters. In the second chapter, Achievements of the Early Peshwas, then Maratha administration, Anglo-French rivalry, the rise of the English power in Bengal, career and achievements of Dupleix, Clive's second governorship of Bengal, Warren Hastings. Okay, these are the chapters. And you can purchase this book through Flipkart or Amazon or any online site, as well as to your near bookstore. And this book is easily available to you, because the popularity, actually this book is which attracted the attention of all the students, because all the information given in this book. And in my third list, I can suggest you, and you should know this book, which is written by Bipin Chandra, History of Modern India, Orient Black Swan publisher. And as you know that Bipin Chandra, who was the most prominent historian of modern Indian history, and he was also Professor Emeritus. And Bipin Chandra was a lifelong devote towards the studies and writing, the development of historical tradition in the Indian subcontinent. And Bipin Chandra, who was a recipient of Padma Bhushan, and Bipin Chandra, who write this book regarding modern Indian history, is very useful for the civil service aspirant as well as the students of history, and teachers should find this book very useful. And apart from these books, you can also purchase the books titled as An Advanced Studies of Modern Indian History, which is written by Surendranath Sen. That book also very important. And another modern Indian history, which is written by Jel Mehta, that is also very good. And apart from that, another very useful book regarding the study of modern Indian history, that is which is written by Sumit Sarkar. This book is very important. Sumit Sarkar book, Modern Times, and he uh, is a prominent economic historian of modern India. This book ranged from the period 1880s to 1950s, and Sumit Sarkar, which has written this book, The Modern Times. This book particularly discussed regarding the history of environment, economy, and culture. Modern Times India, Environment, Economy, and Culture, which is written by Sumit Sarkar. Sumit Sarkar also one of the eminent as well as nationally recognized historian of Indian subcontinent, and his contribution towards the writing of modern Indian history is unparalleled, as well as one of the great contributor towards the writing of modern Indian history. These are the contents of this book, and most importantly, when you start reading this book, you have satisfied enough, because the kind of language used by Sumit Sarkar, as well as the theoretical tradition of this book, and he mentioned the necessary things, that how a student could easily grab the information regarding the modern Indian history. These are the contents of this book, and you can use to purchase this book for the study of modern Indian history. And apart from that, you can also purchase From Plassey to Partition, which is written by Shekhar Bandopadhyay, as well as other such book which is written by Bipan Chandra, India's Struggle for Independence also. This book is very useful, India's Struggle for Independence, and which is not only written by one author, that is written by a group of authors, and they are all the prominent historians, no doubt, such as Bipan Chandra, Mridula Mukherjee, Aditya Mukherjee, Sucheta Mahajan, Ken Panikar. 5 writers, they used to contribute their knowledge, their intellect for writing this book. And this book is devoted to all the students of history, and they must purchase this book and find this book immensely useful for their preparation, their professional career also. This book is very important. So these are the most valuable and precious materials for the study of ancient, medieval, and modern Indian history. And this video is maybe lengthy, and in another video I will discuss the most important books regarding the world history, the study of or the history of the civilizations, major civilizations of the world, as well as the most important books for the study of historiography, as well as other archaeological studies. And I will make historical videos in my channel, such as the important revolutions, the wars, important personalities from ancient to modern, as well as also I have to clarify the most important things that happen nationally and internationally. So please used to like my channel, subscribe, as well as to share among the friends and students, as well as to others, so that they could avail this knowledge. Thank you for watching my video.